And you're live.
Good morning. I am here with Mishaun Newman. If you guys don't know, she has a new practice going on. It's super exciting. Newman Primary Care Health and Wellness. It's such an overall, category because you do so many different things.
Yes.
Which is so exciting.
Yes.
How long have you been in this town, and how long have you been doing your, really in the field that you're in?
So I moved back to Bullhead City in 2000. I had went to high school here and moved back in 2000. And I was a nurse at the time and have kind of just slowly progressed in my nursing career into nurse practitioner. I've been practicing as a nurse practitioner here for just almost 12 years.
Seems like forever.
Yes. And in that time, I've worked different specialties: urgent care, cardiology, primary care, internal medicine. I've even done some locum work for some of the local physicians with pediatrics and whatnot. And now it was just kind of a natural progression to own my own and be on my own and not have to worry about what's coming, what's going, and, the different whims of what happens with wherever you work.
For sure. The nice thing about you and you becoming my personal doctor is that I know that you're here and you're not going anywhere, which is nice, because you hate when you get, a doctor and you love them and everything's great and then they leave you.
Yes.
You're not doing that.
No. The coming and going is over for me. I'm done with, being with one place for a couple of years and then moving on, or policy changes or whatever the case, changes within that practice, and then you need to get out, move on. I just don't want to do that anymore. I just want to have a consistency, stable place for all of my patients to come and know that that's where they're going to be coming for the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah. It's very exciting.
Yes.
Well, I came to you recently in really a panic. I was having, mentally and physically, I was just off. Yeah. Completely off. And I had went to a few doctors and had done blood work, and, I'm very efficient. I knew my body. I knew there was something wrong. And I just was not getting answers. So much that my mental space, I was going to meetings and I was bawling my eyes out, and I just couldn't find a bearing. And I came and seen you, and you have changed my life. Can we talk a little bit about how you did that? Really?
Absolutely. So I approach every patient as a whole, not just what they are coming in with today, but where and how they got there. Yeah. So it may have been in the last 3 months. It may have been in the last 3 years. So you need to get a really good history on every single patient and see what their course has gone to get them to where, when they're coming to you in such kind of a desperate state of, I know something's wrong, I don't know how to fix it. And it's an investigative process sometimes in how to fix it. But especially women in, the 45 and older age group, you find different things wrong with their hormones. You find different things wrong with their blood work and their diet and exercise habits and everything that's kind of gotten them
all
to
the things we let go about ourselves.
Yes, we're busy with family and sporting events and everything with our kids, and you kind of get off track with what makes me healthy.
Yeah.
And so
agreed.
Just getting that back into tune with people is what I think is important. And as women age, they have lots of symptoms of hormone imbalance. So we try to look at those hormones that a lot of primary cares won't or don't. They leave it up to the OBGYN. They leave it up to, whoever it is at Bay that is going to maybe look at some of them. But I look at all of it and take it all in together as a whole patient experience.
I think that's what was very different for me. The second that I've seen you out and about, and I feel like wherever I've seen you, I always have felt like I'm going into that room and it's a personal interaction. It's not just a check off the box. And when I came to you in such distraught, it was exactly that. It was exactly like we went through what I was personally going through. We did the in-depth blood work to find out. And I have never had anyone talk to me about testosterone. Yes. Right? So what I'm learning, and I've learned from you, is that men and women both need both.
Yes.
And as a woman who is in her middle 40s, I have never had a doctor talk to me about testosterone. And I'm assuming most men out there have probably never had a doctor talk to them about estrogen. So I think what I have found, and again, what I'm learning and understanding, is that it's both equally important for men and women.
It is. women go through perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause states, and men go through andropause. So you're wanting to take the man who has the complaints, but their lab work all looks normal,
Yeah.
and say, let's take this a step further. Let's go into your testosterone levels, your estrogen levels, and what's happening. Some of them even come to me, they're already on testosterone, and their levels are still off and not normal. So I specialize in bioidentical hormone replacement therapy, and I take them usually off that injectable that's once every week, once every 2 weeks, that they get sick and tired of giving,
Yeah.
and give them a steady stream of testosterone, and at the same time make sure that their estrogen is staying placed where it needs to be, because if they're not on the proper supplements with those, they're going to find that their estrogen starts creeping up, and then their testosterone's not optimized. So you have to really look at all of those different hormones, manage them consistently with a patient so that they're not getting too much, too little,
Yeah.
and where they feel good.
I think that is what has been very different for me. So I not only was feeling the physical night sweats, weight gain. I had gained so much weight from January to March that my scale was like, is this the same user? And I have never had problems with that. But the scariest part for me is I am a very happy person. And really, no matter what's gone on in my life, through my life, balancing my mental part of that has never been a challenge for me, right? It's always get up in the morning, start your day, get moving. And I found that I felt like I was losing my mind, that emotionally I couldn't balance myself.
Yes.
And there seemed to be nothing that I was doing. And again, I went to other doctors. I had other blood work, and I was, they're just like, oh, you're in normal range. Oh, you're in normal range. Well, I wasn't in normal range.
Right.
They just didn't look deep enough to find out why. So I got pelleted August 30th.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm about 8 weeks into the process. In the 8 weeks, I would like to say first and foremost, within probably the first 3 days, I mentally
Took a deep
had
breath.
my life back. Because not only did I suffer when I was mentally going crazy, but my family suffered. Like, it's a whole
Right.
thing, right?
Yes.
Poor Jeff. I mean, Jeff, gosh, he deals with me all the time. But the truth of the matter is within that first 3 days, I felt balanced.
Yes.
So first and foremost, if you need to talk to somebody, go talk to somebody, because you just keep looking till you get your answers.
Yeah.
And then I am proud to say I've really been, well, sitting with you that day, you also said to me, hey, Christy, like, you have to get your stuff in order.
Right.
So it wasn't just like, let me put these pellets in you. Good luck. Have a good day. It was like,
Right.
you need to take bread out. You need to take rice out. You need to take pasta out. You need to start eating for your life
Right.
and not for pleasure, right?
Exactly.
So just hearing that, just having someone say, eat all the fruits, eat all the vegetables you want, eat the protein, keep it into a balanced diet, make sure you're making good choices, get a 30 minutes of exercise a day, only 30 minutes. You could do that. It's easy.
Yes.
It's 30 minutes out of your day. And with that being said, I have lost 8 pounds in the last 8 weeks. So basically about a pound a week, and 12 inches in between my waist,
Yes.
which I couldn't get that to move. Nothing I was doing was getting that to move.
The belly fat.
The belly fat. So
That's our goal. So it's a multi-dimensional approach. It's not just putting pellets into somebody, sending them off on their way, and hoping that they do great.
yeah,
It is really looking at the whole person because what brought them here in their mid 40s, they're going to start feeling that mental fog, that fatigue, lack of focus, difficulty sleeping might start to creep up. And then as they approach closer to 50, or even in the beginning of their 50s, they're going to start noticing the depression kind of sets in, the hot flashes, the night sweats, mood swings, anxiety. You're going to find a lot of women have shoulder pain, hip pain. These are all symptoms of estrogen depletion. So once you
and
start,
we kind of get to where we think it's normal, right? You kind of are like,
Absolutely.
that's just how I feel.
yeah, people think I'm just getting older. I just can't get the weight off. My metabolism is low. And they blame it on all of these peripheral things. And it is hard to take a little look inside and say,
Yeah.
it's me and it's what I'm putting in my mouth as well. It's a part of aging because my ovaries are now not working like they did when I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
So I'm not feeling like I did when I was in my 20s. So taking a multidimensional approach with each and every patient to make sure that their diet is on track, encouraging them to get their diet on track. And once they see the results, they're like, I want to keep doing this.
I'm in.
I want more. The testosterone and the estrogen being balanced is really going to help people with all of that. Bring in that focus back, bring in that energy back, and the anxiety levels go down so much with testosterone.
I forgot about how much anxiety I was having prior.
Yes.
It was outrageously, again, I've had spots in my life where I've dealt with, major anxiety, but have always been able to work through it. Yeah. And I was at a spot where I felt like I couldn't do that either.
Yes. The coping mechanism comes back so much stronger when you have optimized levels of hormones. And so many people, will come to me on their second pelleting, third pelleting, and say, I didn't feel the same results as I did the first time. The first time we're taking you from a bottomed out testosterone, estrogen that's not well controlled, and we're bringing you up into this optimal range. And then after that, they say the second time, I didn't feel it as much, so I didn't get it again. Then they fall off the cliff again.
And they're like, I'm coming back.
Yes. So once we bring you up into hormone optimization, the goal is to keep you there so that you can live a quality of life in that hormone optimized state. So you're not going to feel these big swings anymore. And sometimes we can bring you up to a good level and you feel good, and people say, but I want to feel better. Well, that's when we get your diet in order. That's when we get your exercise in order.
That's where the accountability comes,
That's where the accountability comes in. So this is it's a partnership. And that's how I like to look at it. And people don't have to see me for primary care. They can come and see me
that's good to know.
Just for weight loss. You can come and see me just for hormone optimizing. And I spend just as much time with those patients in the room as I do as I'm seeing the patient for primary care. So I want to encourage every patient to come and do it. And I have different modalities. I have things from medical fasting with Prolon. I have semaglutide I can help people with, and that is me managing that. So you'll find, again, there's a lot of places out there that give you your shot and out the door you go, and hopefully you lose weight. But it's not how I operate. I want to make sure that my patient is coming in every week. They're getting measured every week. They are getting the nutrition. They're giving me a food log. They are getting guidance if they're not losing weight, and the dose adjusted if they're on that semaglutide to accommodate for what's happening. And of course, blood work needs to happen before that, because again, semaglutide cannot just be put into somebody and you walk out the door. You've got to monitor their labs before they come in for that and make sure that they are not having any thyroid issue. They don't have a history or family history of certain thyroid cancers, because there is a black box warning on semaglutide for that. So make sure that whoever you're getting your products from are doing that in-depth lab work done and family history on you, so that you are not at risk for something that could be worse just to lose weight.
Yeah, which you don't often think about because everybody's doing it, right?
Right.
Everybody's doing it. Mm-hmm. But obviously we don't ever want to harm our body, which is where you take the steps to do the blood work prior to make sure it should
And it's the standard of care. So, you can get, I heard a patient tell me the other day that they got it off of a blogger on the internet. And I was just like,
that doesn't scare
you?
Oh
my goodness, doesn't that scare you? First of all, what kind of product are you getting? Because there's products out there that specifically say not for human use. It is for research purposes only. And so some places out there are injecting people with research material. They're not actively getting it from a pharmacy that's compounded appropriately.
Holy heck.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your family care piece.
Yes.
So you are a family doctor.
Yes.
You're a family doctor.
I am. So I see patients 14 on up, and for primary care. I usually say I put that 14 there just because there's older 14-year-olds and then there's younger 14-year-olds. I encourage them to be with their pediatricians as long as they are in that pediatric care model, if you will.
Yeah.
Once they're ready for more adult decisions, then that's time for them to see a primary care that can relate to those needs.
Yeah. I found that very important when my kids were little. When my girls got older, definitely, it was time to leave the pediatrician and go to an actual, family doctor, which we could all see. So it was, I had rapport. They have a rapport, so it works out really, really well. To get in, you would just call the office.
Yes.
And there's a little wait for that just because you have your new patient stuff. But to get in for all these other options, that actually happens very quickly.
It does. So we do we do hormone consultations every day, and we do blood work for hormone consultation in our office. And usually we are pelleting every single day between 12 and 1 and 4:30 and 5:30, and sometimes even beyond that. So that is my pelleting kind of schedule. Most people are Monday through Thursday, 12, 12:15, 12:30, 1 o'clock.
It's fast. It's really fast.
Yeah. So we typically pellet 2 to 3 at least daily.
It's so great. It's such a good thing. As far as recommending it, what steers you to the pellets and not to, let's say, like the testosterone shots and those kinds of things?
So it boils down to bioidentical plant-based hormone. So the shots are, oil-based, seed oil-based, which is not healthy. And as well, depending on what muscle you're putting that into, it is going to have to be absorbed through the muscle. It is very slow, and it has a up and down effect. So then you have that big absorption in the first 3 to 5 days, then you've kind of crashed down again. And your body's hormone levels are literally doing a roller coaster right along with you.
Trying to catch up.
Exactly. Whereas, and then some of the, some people take the pills or something, then it has to pass through the stomach. So you're looking at first pass has to happen. So you're not getting all of that hormone level that you would be if they are planted subcuticular in the tissues of the skin. So you're doing just right under the skin layer, you're putting in the pellets, and there is little capillary blood flow that constantly just pull off of those pellets and give you an even number of testosterone level, estrogen level all the time. So you kind of have this happy medium all the time instead of the roller coaster and something having to go through the stomach and first pass.
Which I can only imagine is why probably it's so affected even the mental part of it.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it's consistent balance.
And people who are having to put the creams on, the gels on, and then take the pills, it's like their whole life revolves around hormone replacement therapy. Yeah. They've got to put this cream on twice a day and in different spots, and then the spots start to change and the skin starts to change there, so then they've got to change their spots. And there's only so many spots you can put that sticky stuff on before you're like, I am just a sticky wet mess twice a day, every day, and then I'm doing all these medications and it's still not working because they're not designed to bring you to optimum levels. They're just designed to bring you to the standard of, medicine care levels.
The boxes checked.
The boxes get checked and, there's their levels, they're up, and now they feel better. But a lot of people don't feel better, and they don't know why, and it's because a lot of people just don't realize what their hormone levels should be.
Yeah. Which goes back to you doing the really extensive blood work.
Yes.
It's not just a normal panel.
No. I'm looking at their follicular stimulating hormone. I'm looking at their estradiol level, their testosterone levels, their thyroid levels in multidimensional. So I'm looking for thyroid antibodies. I'm looking for T3, T4, TSH. And most providers will treat off the TSH, whereas we treat off of the T3. And then once we realize you've got a thyroid issue, we actually try to correct it with not medication, but nutraceuticals is what we use. And the nutraceuticals are designed to give your thyroid the iodine it needs, the B vitamins it needs, all of those vitamins it needs to feed the thyroid in order for it to keep working again. Yeah. So people don't realize you can get that thing working again. You just have to feed it the appropriate nutrition and the supplements to make it work optimally again, in hopes to get off the medication so that your thyroid can get right back going. Because thyroid works off of that T3, T4, which is getting into little technical chemicals, but
listen, the nice thing about it is when you come in back into the room and you're reading these, I'm not looking at you like, what does that mean? And you're just like, oh, okay. And here's what it means. And I was like, I left there feeling like I now understand my body. Yes. I now get why I'm feeling how I'm feeling. I also think it's important what you just touched on. How often do we go to doctors and get a list of medications? And every time you go, you don't even want to go because here comes another list of medications. So before you know it, you're on this and you're on that, and everyone forgets to go back and check and make sure. And I think with you, it's very different.
Yes.
That the end result is to hopefully get you off of those medications, to hopefully get your body balanced where you are feeling right. Having the pellet option where it's something that, you go in 3 or 4 months, 5 months, you get yourself taken care of and you get to go on with life.
Yes.
And still have all these benefits, through life. Like you said, you get a normal life back.
Right. And just learning, relearning how, to eat again is sometimes hard for people. But once they get on and they feel so much better and their body is shrinking, they naturally want to continue that process.
Yeah.
It's the frustration of so many people that I just can't lose weight and I don't eat that much. Well, it's what you're eating, when you're eating, how much you're eating, and your hormones are not balanced. So you're going to, your blood pressure might be up, and how to get that all done so that we can heal your body so that you're not on all these medications. I
think the nice part really was having that conversation with you as well. You hear all these things like, do this diet, do that diet, blah, blah, and it gets so overwhelming.
It does.
And I said that to you, like, I don't even eat much. I drink water all day. Like, it's fine. And you're like, yeah, but you're eating, you're consuming yourself with breads and pastas and rices and things that I didn't even, even if I'm minimizing it, the effect that it has inside my body.
Yes.
I just needed somebody to tell me, like, take those things out and just see what happens. The worst case scenario. Or just even the accountability where you were just like, Christy, you're intaking things that are making your life shorter, plain and simple.
Yes.
And I was just like, okay, well, I'm in. Yes, check, I got it.
Yes. And, it's really guiding people to eat better so that they feel better. Once they start feeling better, they want to keep eating like that. They might have a slip-up day where they go and have the pizza.
Yeah,
or
I confessed about a pizza.
But once they feel what they feel like, once they have that, they're like, oh, I don't want to feel like that again. Right back on the wagon.
Yeah.
So it's not that you can't ever fall off the wagon. You just can't live off the wagon.
Right.
You need to live on the wagon and have your fall off the wagon days so that, because food is an addiction as well. And with all the sugar.
That. I mean, everything's based around food and drinking. Let's just be honest.
And it's all sugar.
It's all sugar.
So much sugar is in people's diets, and they don't realize the minute that sugar hits the tongue is the whole process starts happening. So you need to not let the sugar hit the tongue.
One of my favorite parts is that really it's a whole overview of, what's going on in your life. What are you intaking? Here's the options. This is what your blood work looks like. I can't stress this enough that I go in there and I leave there, and every time I feel like an individual. My son will go there. We're waiting on his appointment, and he will learn that that's how he should be treated. When I have people bring up to me the shot, the pellets, blah, 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 I say, call. She will sit down with you and take the time to talk it through with you and figure out not just, hey, oh yeah, the shot makes me money, I'm in. It's really about what is right for you.
Yes.
And we need to do the blood work before we know that.
Yes.
And we need to, start with those conversations.
Yes. And make an educated decision. I want all of my patients to make an educated decision on what path they would like to take. And then it's my job to let them know if that path is safe or not safe.
Yeah.
So especially with the semaglutide, and there's so much of it out there right now, is getting that lab work done, looking at the patient's lifestyle and their trajectory. So have they been attempting to lose weight on their own, and have they been successful? Or they're not successful and the shot is the quick fix? Because the shot is not a 1 week ordeal, a 2 week ordeal. It's typically, if to look at the weight loss goals, is typically a 7 to 9 month ordeal. And people need to realize that going in, because they get a great response for a month, and then they realize that, wow, now I'm not seeing as many changes. I've had so many people come to my clinic and say, well, I was on this and with this clinic, and then I didn't notice any weight loss. And I look at their dosing, I look at their labs, and I can understand, well, this is why you're not seeing that weight loss. So this is what we need to do about it. And it's that way over and over again. So having somebody not just give you a shot and walk out the door, it's important to have that collective thought process around that patient as a whole. What is your morning like? What is your dinners like? What are, are you able to cook dinner? Are you going out to eat? How do we do that and fit that into what you should be doing? Because it's all doable. you've, I'm sure, gone out to eat and
Yes.
enjoyed a meal, and it's all very doable. You just got to know what choices to make.
Yeah. And you're right in the fact that the first maybe 2 weeks was really hard taking those things out. It just seemed weird to order different, to cook different.
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is, by week 3, I felt lighter. I wasn't going to bed heavy. And when I ate the pizza, as much as I enjoyed it, it made me not want to eat another piece.
Right.
Because I was just like, ooh, that's extreme fullness. It
Yeah.
felt weird. It didn't feel good.
Yeah.
Like I told you earlier, I love ice cream, so I don't buy the gallon of ice cream, but I don't stop myself from having an ice cream cone.
Sure.
But definitely, and again, this is 8 weeks in, but the changes that I feel just from like I had this weird puffy face thing
Yeah.
for all that time, and I could not get that. It didn't matter how much water I was drinking, whatever. And I am seeing that swollen body that I have disappear,
Yeah.
which is so exciting.
Yes. And we've been trying some new stuff on you. So there's some
Yes.
new weight loss. I kind of touched on our medical fasting, which is through Prolon. And then we have the semaglutide. But I'm also experimenting with different scientific-based eating programs. So it's not so much what you're going to eat, it's what you're not going to eat and when you're going to eat it and how much protein you're going to put in it, and exercise patterns. So I've been following a couple of physicians that have done these amazing books and decided to start integrating that into a weight loss program that people can come to me and get how to, when to, all of that stuff to optimize weight loss. So I think we started you last Thursday on my little experiment.
Yes, 7 days.
Yes. And
With no drinking.
yes, 7 days. And in 7 days, what were your results?
3 pounds down in the 7 days, which again, before I couldn't even get a pound to move.
Yes. And that's not with any weight loss injection. That is not with any weight loss medications, supplements. It's not with any of that. So
That's correct.
It is doing just a pattern of eating and a pattern of doing that and trying to get the results that you can get on the semaglutide by not taking semaglutide. It's not like that's a goal. Some people that they choose that, and it is a great option for a lot of people. It takes for those people who have 50 or more pounds to lose, semaglutide is a great option to be able to reduce that weight.
Yeah.
And I have no problem doing that for people. But at the same time, if I can get the people who only need the 20-pound weight loss to actually lose it on their own and show them how they can do this all on their own without medications, without diets.
Yeah, which was absolutely doable. I mean, it was a
Yes.
30-minute workout per day. It was eating pretty
yeah.
much how I was eating,
Yep.
doing the grams.
Mm-hmm.
I don't usually eat anything in the morning, and I started my morning out with the protein.
Yes.
So it was just these little. It was again things that I can do the rest of my life,
Yes.
which I think that's really what you preach about. Is
Yes.
I want you to be healthy and happy, but I don't want just this immediate gratification. I want to
Right.
teach you how to do it long term.
I don't want you dependent on me for your success. I want to guide your success so that you can depend on you for that success going forward.
I love it.
We
yes.
have some chat here if you'd like to answer a question.
What are they saying?
So Andy in the chat says, why not talk about consuming simple Celtic salt, which contains 93 of the 108 minerals we're supposed to consume every day, which will lower high blood pressure and every other symptom known to mankind?
And is this a male?
It's a guy.
A guy. Okay, he's absolutely right. Celtic salt is a wonderful addition to. I recommend doing a pinch of Celtic salt in your water in the morning, because that starts your water out with the appropriate electrolytes and everything else. And yes, it can lower blood pressure. Some people who have obesity issues are not going to be able to rely solely upon that for reduction in their blood pressure. However, keeping them on medication for the shortest amount of time to get to their goals and giving them the tools and mechanisms so that they can continue that weight loss process is the most important, to give them the tools so they can get off the medications. But absolutely, Celtic salt is a wonderful addition.
Perfect. And then the second question, which you don't have to answer if you don't want. He says, how do you feel about the vaccine?
I I am not an anti-vaxxer, and I'm not a person who wants to give that kind of impression that I'm anti-vaxxer, but I will say that research is everything. So research everything you put into your body, just like you would research that Celtic salt, that you would research the ingredients on a package of gummy worms or Jell-O. Research what you're putting into your body and go to the appropriate sites to see what their efficacy is. And if that is something that you feel is going to be beneficial to you and your health going forward, then I would say that's a very personal decision.
Perfect. There you go, Andy. There's your answer to the questions you
There's
had.
your answer.
And thank you, Mishaun, for answering. And go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, so amazing. I've been so excited to share you with the world, even though you're sharing yourself with the world. But again, anything that I feel like, I know I say you saved my life, but it's true because my mental space was so weird. And I think it's something that people are afraid to talk about sometimes. It's not easy to talk about. I'm a control freak, so to feel like I couldn't control my own emotions, it was almost like, am I going to have to go get on Xanax and be like, and I would just like, I'm just not a pill person.
Right.
So, you know, again, once I got to come and see you and just talk
Yes.
and be heard.
Yes.
And
the privacy of it. You know, these are intimate issues to us as a person. And I open my practice between 12 and 1 for the pelleting, and then 4:30 to 5:30, specifically so that there's not anybody else in the practice while they're having their experience. I don't want people to feel like, oh, so-and-so saw me and they know what I went there for. I want that personal experience for people so that they kind of have a closed office so they can come get their pelleting done, leave, and not anybody else knows what's going on with them. So it is a very personal experience, and I hope to keep being able to do that for this community.
I love it. So if you're looking for a family doctor, she is available. And then if you're looking for weight loss opportunities, conversations, knowledge, all you have to do is call.
Yeah. And also all of your hormone questions. You should be able to sit down with your provider and have that conversation about what this is benefiting you and why other options are not going to benefit you. That full conversation should be able to be had with your provider doing your bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. We are currently still taking new patients for primary care, and then we see patients for hormone optimization daily as well for semaglutide daily. So give us a call.
Yes. What phone number would they call, and where are you located?
We are located in the McCormick Plaza Center. It is, I think it's McCormick Professional Center. And it is right across from Culver's on the highway. So we're right next to Aspen Dental. And it's at 3640 Highway 95, Suite 100. And then as well, our phone number is 928-224-5557.
Yes. So I encourage you to give them a call. Even if you just have questions, they are so kind. You know, I started with just my million questions with the first phone call to your lovely receptionist. And she was like, Christy, breathe. Everything's okay. Yes. You can come in. You can talk to Mishaun. So it wasn't even just with you. It's really, you know, everybody in there is on it's just a different level, I think. So I am so thankful for you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming to the show today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. If you guys have any questions or concerns, just reach out. They are available all the time. And definitely, you know, self-care is super important. It really starts with filling our own cup, right?
Yes. It starts with you reaching out, realizing that you might just need some direction. And then that's what I'm here for. Give you the right path.
Hey guys, shop local, support local, and have a good day. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.